dawn of the pandemic, conceived of originally as a modest collection of Neil's best recipes, and I have no doubt that it was because Neil, like the rest of us, was grounded, unable to do the work that he's obviously specialised in for decades, and he was very moved by the impacts on out-of-work hospitality workers and suppliers, that he turned his attention to writing hope for the future and really a gift for his children. He turned our modest book idea into his magnum opus and a bookend to the volume The Food I Love, which Murdoch Books in a former era had so wonderfully published 17 years ago. Neil and I would meet in the shuttered Rosetta restaurant where dozens of volunteers cooked and packed meals for visa workers who were unable to access JobKeeper. The indoor plants were dead in this sort of grand CBD place, but the whole place was fully alive with determination to keep the food and hospitality industry going. And I think it is this determination that drove Neil to get all his thoughts down about what fad-free good food is, how to recognise and respect well-produced ingredients, and to share with all Australians the recipes that he keeps coming back to time and time again. I did laugh when Neil's first email came through, which had fully 35 recipes for sandwiches, and his musings about these, and I thought, okay, we've got a whopper on our hands. We're going to have to pedal hard and fast. How are we going to make this book in a pandemic? We employed as many restaurant workers as we could afford to for the book shoot, wonderfully photographed by Patrina Tinsley and styled by Emma Knowles. The master of recipe editing, Alison Cowan, worked through the night to turn around the edits with our in-house editor, Justin Wolfers, and the best art director in the world, Megan Piggott, conceived of the utterly original design, which was wonderfully executed by Emily O'Neill. Jess Sly, Richard Purdue and G. De Bruin from Team Neil were complete professionals and made sure that everything just was exactly right. Neil dedicates this work to the memory of his mother Margaret, after whom he also named his new restaurant, where you can currently see him on the pans in the open kitchen. And Margaret was to open on the 25th of June 2021, and if you remember, it was the 26th of June that everything shut down again. So all those workers, all that produce just lay idle. Like many of the books that we talk about tonight, promotion, of course, was really not business as usual either. Sue Bobbermine didn't miss a beat when forced to completely bin her planned promotional tour and schedule of events, and instead turned to a digital marketing campaign, piggybacking off Neil's advocacy work, which was wonderful. So Neil sends a giant thank you to all involved in the making of this masterpiece, to the booksellers who backed this high price point, loud-looking book that doesn't have a subtitle, and especially to the readers and home cooks who found space in their crowded bookshelves and kitchen benches for Neil's big vision. Thank you.
And now to present the 2022 ABIA International Book of the Year. The winner will be a work of any kind, such as fiction, non-fiction, illustrated or children's, with broad appeal, written by an author who is not Australian, which sold well across the Australian marketplace and created a buzz in the book trade. And the nominees for the 2022 ABIA International Book of the Year are
These Precious Days by Anne Patchett, Bluesbook Publishing. Ottolenghi Test Kitchen, Shelf Love by Witam Ottolenghi and Noor Murad, Penguin Random House, Ebury Press. The Storyteller by Dave Grohl, Simon & Schuster US, Simon & Schuster Australia. Beautiful World, Where Are You? By Sally Rooney, Faber. Still Life by Sarah Windham, HarperCollins Publishers.
And the winner is The Storyteller by Dave Grohl, Simon & Schuster.
Wow, thank you, ABIA Academy. Firstly, to my amazing team at Simon & Schuster Australia for setting this book up so brilliantly and for making sure we had enough in stock. It was a big commitment. To the booksellers for embracing this book so beautifully. But there's one unexpected person I want to thank who's in this room. As a lot of people in publishing know, quite often when you're trying to win a book, you need to present yourself in front of the author and sometimes their agents. And I got to, in the middle of the pandemic, get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and have a Zoom with Dave Grohl, my UK colleagues, and his entire management team. It numbered about 12 people. I was nervous as hell. And when the Zoom started, once he knew there was an Australian on the call, all Dave wanted to talk to was me. And he was obsessed by a certain author called That's What I Reckon, who I'd just had a Zoom with like the day before. And even though we were the bridesmaid on your book, thank you for making me the bride on this book. So thanks a lot, Nat.
Hi, we're the Wiggles, and we're here to present 2 Children's Awards this evening. We know that children's lives are enriched by literature, and it helps them to better understand themselves, others, and the world around them. Books and the stories within them serve so many purposes in our lives and are particularly instrumental in a child's cognitive, social, and emotional development. It really is so important for parents, carers, and teachers to instill a love of reading in children.
The first award we'll be presenting is the Book of the Year for Younger Children.
Yeah, this is an award for a children's book popular with children aged 7 to 12, written by an Australian author, which sold well and created lots of excitement across the Australian marketplace. And the nominees are...
Exit Through the Gift Shop by Miriam Master, illustrated by Astrid Hicks. Pan Macmillan Australia, Pan Australia. The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Peculiar Pairs in Nature by Sammy Bailey, Hachette Australia. The First Scientists, Deadly Inventions and Innovations from Australia's First Peoples by Corey Tutt, Hardy Grant Publishing, Hardy Grant Explore. Dragonskin by Karen Fox-Lee, Alan and Unwin. Rabbit, Soldier, Angel, Thief by Katrina Nannesdad, HarperCollins Publishers.
And the winner is... Wow! The First Scientists, Deadly Inventions and Innovations from Australia's First Peoples by Corey Tutt, published by Hardy Grant Publishing.
Congratulations to Corey and Hardy Grant Publishing.
Sorry, I'll get my words ready. Okay, hello, my name's Melissa and I'm the publisher for Hardy Grant Explore. Unfortunately, Corey couldn't be here tonight, so I'm here representing in my Deadly Science hoodie. I'd first like to recognise that we're on the unceded lands of the Gadigal people and pay my respects to their elders past and present. We are so excited about this award. I first met Corey a few years ago at a book launch we held for Professor Marcia Langton's book Welcome to Country. In her speech, Marcia said that Corey Tutt is a true hero, so I thought, who is this guy? I need to meet him. I soon learned of the amazing work that Corey has done in establishing Deadly Science, and I believe they've now sent 25,000 books to remote schools in 180 communities. It wasn't long before Corey and I started discussing over email what his first book could be, and I'm incredibly proud of the final result. The First Scientist celebrates First Nations cultural practices that we now know as science, and I don't believe a children's book has brought together so much First Nations knowledge in one place before. Corey spent many, many days talking with communities to arrange permissions for the book, and we are really appreciative of their involvement. We'd also like to thank Terry Janke's law firm, which advised us on cultural protocols. I also need to give a shout out to Black Douglas, who most of you will know won the Archibald Prize this year, as he provided the fantastic illustrations for the book that emphasised both the ancient and contemporary nature of First Nations cultures. Keisha Leon also for her incredible book design, and Irma Gold as editor. Finally, Corey did give me a few words to say just in case he won, so here they are. First of all, thank you to everyone who has supported me along the way, from the communities and elders who paved the way for me to succeed and grow Deadly Science. This book started with the words, "You can't be what you can't see." Those in lab coats are only one type of scientist, while our people, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, are the original scientists of this land, contributing to STEM for over 65,000 years. This book is for all Australians to be truly proud of this history. For every person that has picked up the book and learned, shared and enjoyed Black's and my creations, thank you for being the change and being deadly. To all the young deadly scientists out there, be brave, be deadly and follow your passions. And thank you also to my wife, Kate. Thank you.
The second award we would like to present is Children's Picture Book of the Year.
This is an award for a children's picture book popular with children aged 0 to 6, written and illustrated by Australians, which sold well and created excitement across the Australian marketplace. And the nominees are...
Daybreak by Amy McGuire and Matt Chang. Hardy Grant Children's Publishing. Bright Light. Bedtime Sorted by Jimmy Reeves. Illustrated by Ryan Stewart of Fern Press. Winner Winner Bin Chicken Dinner by Kate and Joel Temple. Illustrated by Ronna Joy Bosch. Scholastic Press. Somebody's Land. Welcome to Our Country by Adam Wilkinson and Ellie Lang. Illustrated by David Harding. Alan London. Boss of Your Own Body by Bill and Beth Stephen. Illustrated by Simon Howard. HarperCollins Publishers. HarperCollins Children's Books.
And the winner is, drum roll please, Simon. Wow! Somebody's Land. Welcome to our published by Alan.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll kick it off. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm a proud Aboriginal man myself, and this series means a lot to me, especially to my mum. Love you. I'd like to say, sorry, I'm a bit short. I don't know if you can see me. Just boost me up a bit. I'd like to say a big thank you to Erica Wagner from Alinta Araluen. I was working with her very closely. To my Aboriginal people, I'm a proud Barkinji man, so I pay my respects to all my relatives. And also my mum, my dad, my sister Michelle, and my wife May, and my two beautiful kids, Caden and Summer. So thank you so much.
When we all started pulling together these books, I don't think we had any idea of how much work goes into writing a children's book. So, for all of you in the room, you've got heaps of idea about how that works. So there's a number of people we need to thank tonight. A number of them are here as well. Robert Gorman, Tom Gilliott, Eva Mills, These people are all from Alinta Chidzey, of course, a wonderful team there. Perry Wilson and Yvette Odette, Matthew Hoy and Simon Pangaris, Caro Walsh, who's the educational expert behind the series. To David Hardy, our incredible illustrator. When Adam and I saw his work, there was no question. He had to be our guy. To Erica Wagner, as David mentioned. To Lucy Camus from the Lighthouse, who looks after Adam and myself. And of course to Adam. This is a book that was sparked by my son Harvey. And it's a book for non-Indigenous kids, like Harvey and Lewis. It's a book for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander kids, like Adelaide Notice, Caden and Summer. For parents, like my husband Jordan. For carers, for grandparents. That is why we call it the Welcome to Our Country series. There's a passage in the Uluru Statement of the Heart that talks about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children that reads, "They will walk in two worlds and their culture will be a gift to their country." They are a gift to this country. David, you are a gift to this country. Adam Goods, you are a gift to this country. And these series of books are our gift to our country.
I knew I should have went first now. That was incredible, Ellie. Thank you so much. I just also would like to thank my beautiful wife and children. It's definitely been the inspiration for me getting into this space and creating stories, having to read to my little daughter and now my baby boy every night, and the other incredible authors and illustrators out there that produce these books that my children love and constantly live out in our lounge rooms, in our backyards, front yards, at the school that they go to. It's an incredible storytelling ability, and I'm just so glad that I'm able to do that and do that with this incredible team, Ellie and David, and the backing of Alan and Unwin to do that. I also would like to thank and acknowledge Culture is Life. This book isn't just about the one story. We have a series. There's 5 in that series. Maybe we bit a little bit too much off there in signing that contract, but the 3rd book's coming. Don't worry, it'll be out at Christmas. We're getting there. But I'm loving the process, but also it takes a team of people to make it happen. And we really want to create this series to tell stories about who we are as Australians and somebody's land. When we were sitting down thinking about it, how can we make Terra Nullius not scary? How do we make Terra Nullius something that can make people want to learn more about it? And when we talk about our acknowledgements to country and we talk about the unceded land that we're on, we are in a very unique country. We are in a very unique position right now as Australians to actually have a voice on making sure we concede this land to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And I really find that this book and also the Culture is Life teaching resources behind it help our teachers, help our carers, help us as parents learn about our history, our shared history, and the origins of what our nation, Australia, was built on. So thank you so much, and good luck to everyone else tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners. I can't wait to read these books to my daughter. And also thanks to the Wiggles. They never fail to light up the room. Now, for our next 2 awards, it is my pleasure to introduce journalist, broadcaster, and prolific award-winning author, Peter FitzSimons. Thanks for letting me pick you out too.
Prolific award-winning. Well, I don't think I've won an award for anything ever, but but congratulations to those who do. No, I mean it sincerely. I do mean it sincerely. The closest I got was about 1996. The Australian Cricket Board contacted me. Would I put in a feature that I'd written for the Herald for an award? And I said, will I win? And they said yes. I said, all right, I submit it. And I still didn't win. I'm here to present the 2022 ABIA General Non-Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by the Copyright Agency. The winner will be a work of general non-fiction with mass market appeal written by an Australian author. The nominee for the 2022 ABIA General Non-Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by the Copyright... The nominees for the 2022 ABIA General Non-Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by the Copyright Agency, are...
Toxic, the rotting underbelly of the Tasmanian salmon industry by Richard Flanagan. Penguin Random House Australia. Penguin. She's on the Money by Victoria Devine. Penguin Random House Australia. Penguin Life. Heartsick, 3 stories about love and loss and what happens in between by Jessie Stevens. Pan Macmillan Australia. Macmillan Australia. So You Think You Know What's Good For You by Norman Smith and Shep Australia. Love Stories by Trent Dalton, HarperCollins Publishers.
And the winner. The winner of the General Non-Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by the Copyright Agency, is She's on the Money by Victoria Devine, Penguin Random House, Penguin Life.
We are winning this. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person. As you can see, I'm actually at a conference, but I am so excited. Thank you so much. The idea that we have won an ABIA award, like, are you joking? I am over the moon, and I am quite clearly lost for words. To win the general non-fiction book of the year is absolutely my wildest dreams, especially for a finance book. Obviously, a massive thank you to my family at Penguin Random House, and in particular, Izzy Yates. Izzy, you are a dream to work with. You look after me. You do absolutely everything to make this business successful and this book successful. I can't believe that we are in this position now. To think that we have created a finance book that is now winning general non-fiction awards, like, I cannot quite believe it. My entire universe is finance, and the idea that we are changing people's financial lives with this book, and the idea that the ABIA Awards are going to promote that even further, makes my heart so incredibly full. So thank you, Penguin, for always supporting me and knowing exactly what the book needs. Thank you to the Copyright Agency, and honestly, thank you so much to my She's on the Money community, because guys, without you, this book wouldn't even exist. Oh, I wish I was there in person.
Award number 6. And now to present the 2022 ABIA Biography Book of the Year. The winner will be a high-quality biography or autobiography with broad appeal, written by an Australian author. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Biography Book of the Year are...
Emotional Female by Yumiko Hidota, Penguin Random House Australia, Viking. The Mother Wound, Amani Hayden, Pan Macmillan Australia, Macmillan Australia. Turns Out I'm Fine by Judith Lucy, Simon & Schuster Australia, Scribner Australia. It Wasn't Meant to Be Like This by Lisa Wilkinson, HarperCollins Publishers. My Adventurous Life by Dick Smith, Alinta Chidzey.
And the winner, Biography Book of the Year. My Adventurous Life by Dick Smith. Well done.
I'm not Dick Smith. If I was, I'd be up in Queensland enjoying the sun and would have left a little speech for my loyal commissioning publisher to read on a cold winter's night in Sydney. And I'm that publisher, Richard Walsh. Let me say I'm delighted for Dick that he's won this prize, a little surprised and delighted, and embarrassed, because actually the words that he's written for me to read are a little bit praising of me. People in the front row will see that when I read the fulsome praise he gives to me, that I will give one of those sort of cheesy grins that says I'm taking it on the chin. So Dick has written this. I'm delighted to receive this fantastic award. It's especially important because I was brought up in a family whose lives revolved around books. My dad's second job was as a book salesman, calling on bookstores. He was working for Luteniggers, the famous book company of the 1950s. I may be the only person who can remember Luteniggers in this room. Little did I know as a young kid that I would be involved in publishing, which is what happened when I opened the Australian Geographic. Not only did we publish the magazine and a series of Australian Geographic books, but we were also able to bring the Australian Encyclopedia back to Australian ownership. I'm particularly proud that my book was written in Australia by an Aussie with lots of help from some really good writers, particularly Howard Whelan. It was published by an Australian-owned business, Alinta Chidzey, printed in Australia and sold primarily through Australian-owned bookstores. This makes me feel really good. As I detail in my book, my dad started his own business, producing high-quality art prints to be sold by companies such as Legend Press, who held the copyright for Albert Namatjira. It gave me great pleasure and satisfaction to be involved many years later in the return of Albert Namatjira's copyright to the Namatjira family. I would particularly like to thank Richard Walsh, who is the prime reason for the existence of this book. I had been working on it on and off for over 20 years. It was Richard who encouraged me, then assisted me with some really excellent editing to my book for what it is today. Thank you very much, Richard. And thanks everyone involved in the Australian book-selling industry. I'm glad that Dick got that off his chest. I believe his success is that he is at a time when we crave authenticity, he is a very authentic Australian, and I'm proud to be his publisher. Thank you very much.
Congrats to the winners. Now please welcome from Dimmicks, Gail McWhinney. Gail? Is this where I do another song? No, I'm joking. She's lost. She's having a drink. Don't worry, we'll be there soon. Here she is! Adam and Ellie. Just do it with confidence.
We sure. Yeah, no, this is the first one. You can do the next one. Okay. Are you going to do this one? No. Okay, thanks. Good evening. The first award we would like to present is for the 2022 ABIA Small Publishers Children's Book of the Year Award, sponsored by Opus. This is an award for a children's or young adult book with brand appeal. Written by an Australian author and illustrated by an Australian artist. Published by a small publisher whose turnover does not exceed $10 million. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Small Publishers Children's Book of the Year, sponsored by Opus, are
The Edge of 13 by Nova Whitman, University of Queensland. Let's Eat Weeds by Annie Rose and Adam Brown, illustrated by Wendy Whiteley. Scribe Publications. Tomorrow is a brand new day by Devon, illustrated by Alison Hopkins. Scribe Publications. Scribble. Albert Nabatira by Vincent Araluen. Magabala Books. Quinlan by Jude Ann McInerney. Magabala Books.
Okay, and the winner of the Small Publishers Children's Book of the Year Award, sponsored by Opus, is The Edge of 13 by Nova Whitman, University of Queensland Press.
Wow, this is crazy. I so did not think this would happen. And I scribbled something in the hotel that is so bad, so please bear with me. Because I never win anything. The last time I won something, I think I was dressed as Pippi Longstocking. And that's a long time ago. So here we go. Sorry, let's just start. All right. It's such a huge surprise and great honour to be here. Thank you so much to the ABIAs and to the judging committee and all the booksellers. I feel like I've been incredibly supported over the last 10 years by the booksellers in this country, so a huge shout out to all of you. As a writer, I spend more of my time teaching than I do writing to make a living, and I spend a lot of my time in schools. And I think what I find going into schools so much across the country is that kids need stories, kids need books, kids need Australian books really desperately. And I really, really need to thank UQP, who are here tonight, my publisher Claire Hume, who just is always in my corner. And I deliver late. I deliver shabby, unstructured first drafts and expect them to fix it, and they do. So I really want to thank my editors, Christy Bushnell, Kathy Valance, amazing people at UQP, marketing team, Lou Corniche, who's not here tonight, sadly, and Sally Wilson, just fantastic people. This feels like an award not just for me, but for the publishing house, because really they back me, and I feel very lucky to be backed. I want to congratulate the other amazing authors and illustrators in this category. Small publishers are punching above their weight in this country and publishing amazing children's fiction. So congratulations to Scribe and Magabala and UQP for having the books in this category. And finally, thanks to my kids, who sadly no longer read my books because they've discovered Netflix, but that's okay. They were the original reason that I started writing. So thank you so much. I've finally got something to take home to them. I'm very excited. Thank you and congratulations to everyone.
And now to the 2022 ABIA Book of the Year for Older Children. This is an award for a children's book popular with children aged 13 and over, written by an Australian author, which sold well across the Australian marketplace and created a buzz in the book trade. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Book of the Year for Older Children are
The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, Penguin Random House Australia, Penguin Books. Anything But Fine by Tobias Madden, Penguin Random House Australia, Penguin Books. The Boy from the Mish by Gary Langton, Alan and Owen. The Gaps by Leanne Hall, Text Publishing. Welcome to Consent by Uni Steins and Dr. Melissa Kay, Patty Grant Children's Publishing.
Ooh, there's two things in here. It says this: before I announce the winner, the judging panel have awarded a highly commended in this category for 2 books. Okay. Right. So there's 2 highly commendeds and then this. Are we ready? Welcome to Consent by Yumi Steins. Oh, yes, am I saying this? Yeah. And Melissa Kang, and The Boy from Mish by Gary Lonesborough. Both, there's one final line, both for brave, smart and timely publishing. And the winner of Book of the Year for older children is The Prison Healer by Lynette Nomi. Penguin Random House Australia, Penguin Books.
Oh my gosh, wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Wow, okay. All right, I'll stop saying wow and start saying thank you. So obviously, thank you to my amazing publishers, Penguin Random House. You guys have really championed this book and this series right from the very beginning. Actually, before the very beginning, you fought so hard to publish this series, and I'm so grateful that you did, because you've worked such magic in such a challenging time for everyone. So thank you so much for everything you've done. I wish I could name every single one of you, but I'll keep this brief and just give a shout out to my editor, Zoe Walton. You've just been such a huge advocate for this series and for me and on this crazy adventure, so thank you so much. But again, it has been such a group effort, and so I'm so grateful to the entire team. I also want to say a quick thank you to booksellers and retailers and librarians and teachers and literally everyone who actively puts these books into readers' hands. I'm so grateful, because I wouldn't have readers without that happening. And speaking of readers, this is going to sound so corny, but thank you to readers everywhere, because this book wouldn't exist without readers. I wouldn't get to do what I love without readers. And I don't even know what to say. I'm so honoured and so humbled and so grateful. So thank you so much. This means the world to me.
Please welcome to the stage author and mathematician Adam Spencer.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm Adam Spencer, 9 times best-selling author of popular mathematics books. And I want to take this opportunity, as Australia's most successful popular mathematics author, to say in a room of my peers 5 words I've wanted to say publicly for a long time. In your face, Eddie Wu. Eddie and I truly are the Cardi B and Nicki Minaj of Australia's nerd community. The first award I'm going to present tonight is the 2022 ABIA Small Publishers Adult Book of the Year. For the purposes of this award, a small publisher is defined as anyone other than Penguin Random House. It's an award for a work of outstanding adult fiction. I do the topical stuff, mate, don't you worry. Or non-fiction with broad appeal, written by an Australian author, published by a small publisher whose turnover does not exceed $10 million. See my previous comment. It will have been well received, sold well in a variety of bookshops, been a candidate for literary awards, and generally exceeded expectations. So the nominees for the 2022 ABIA Small Publishers Adult Book of the Year are
Wild Mushrooming, A Guide for Foragers by Alison Pulio and Tom May, CSIRO Publishing. The Game, A Portrait of Scott Morrison by Sean Kelly, Black Ink Books. Drop Bear by Evenlyn Araluen, University of Queensland Press. Caught in the Act by Shane Jennick, Pantera Press. Black and Blue, a memoir of racism and resilience by Veronica Gorry, Scribe Publications.
Can I just note, that's the biggest round of applause Scott Morrison's received publicly lately, and that was just fantastic to be part of. The winner of the Small Publishers Adult Book of the Year is Drop Bear by Evenlyn Araluen through University of Queensland Press.
Jingiwala, hello. I am Evenlyn Araluen. Everybody else has been, well, most of them have been not them, but I'm me. And I'm here to make you uncomfortable by acknowledging in the firmest terms possible that this is stolen black land, this is Gadigal country, part of the broader Eora and Darug Nation, and also like to pay my respects to Yuin to the south and to Darkinjung to the north. Always was, always will be, it's a promise and it's a threat. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And I would also like to thank and acknowledge all of the other mob who have been shortlisted and commended here tonight. Adam, David, Corey, so far have been awarded, and also to some of the other mob, Anita and Ronnie, Auntie Ronnie, who's just on this shortlist. You're all beautiful, black and deadly, and it's an honour to be in your presence, in your lists, and, you know, yeah, in the same bookshops as you. This award, however, is not really about me. It is about the work of a publisher and the work of all of the different people that go into the production of a book, and I am so deeply, deeply grateful to University of Queensland Press for not only like taking the risk on poetry. I think Drop Bear's the only book of poetry shortlisted for this, and can I just say, all of you other publishers out there who are like, oh no, we don't publish poetry, it's not commercially viable. Just putting it out there, maybe get your shit together. It's working, okay? It's working. Try harder, please. UQP, Aviva Tarfield, Sally Wilson, and all of the other crew there, I would like to say you are incredible and thank you. They let me absolutely drill them on the ethics of their organisation, on what commitment that they were making to First Nations publishing and storytelling in this industry, what that was going to look like going forward, how they were including Aboriginal voices in the production process of all of their books. They let me absolutely go through every aspect of those details before I signed Drop Bear over. They worked with me on this strange, scary, weird little book, and they allowed it to become the best possible version of it. So thank you to the University of Queensland Press for making that effort, and thank you for actually sitting down with me and my deranged little ideas about that. And also, I love a soapbox, so what I would like to say, just while I've got a mic, thank you to Minister Tony Burke. It's really exciting that we've got a Labor government, but do not rest on our laurels here. This is still going to be a very stressful period for the arts sector. We absolutely need to be agitating. Every single one of the people in this room, this entire event has been organised and in some capacity with unpaid labour, and we really need to put a stop to that as much as we possibly can in this industry. It's good to do things for passion. It absolutely, absolutely is. But join your union, organise, collaborate, and ensure that just because you're willing to put that energy forward, you are not setting a precedent for people emerging into this space who are going to be undervalued, who are going to be exploited for their labour. The work will suffer for it, the readers will suffer, the authors will suffer, but also every arts worker in this industry will suffer if we do not put up boundaries and actually say we will not accept worker exploitation in this industry any further. Thank you.
Congratulations, Evelyn. Am I not getting paid for this? Okay, the next award I'd like to present is for the 2022 ABIA Audio Book of the Year. Audio books, all of the joys of reading, with none of the effort of reading. An award for an audiobook with high-quality production values and broad appeal based on a book written by an Australian author in any genre. The audiobook will have been published in 2020, irrespective of the print publication date. It will have sold well across the Australian marketplace and created a buzz in the book trade. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Audiobook of the Year are...
Billa Yalalang Galang Duray, River of Dreams, by Anita Heiss, narrated by Tamara Shelton, Network 10 and Simon Schuster Australia. Emotional Female, Yumiko Kadota, narrated by Yumiko Kadota, Penguin Random House Australia Audio. The Performance, Claire Thomas, narrated by Edwina Wren, Harvey Zielinski, Helen Morse, Lara Robinson, Melissa Madden-Gray, Sylvie D. Crespigny, and Tamala Shelton. Square Sound, Hashed Australia. Devotion by Hannah Kent, narrated by Emily Whitman, Macmillan Australia Audio, Pan Macmillan Australia. Spanion, The Unfiltered Hood Life, by Spanion and Christopher Kevin Au, narrated by Spanion and Amos Phillips. Square Sound, Hachette, Australia.
And before I announce the winner, the judging panel have awarded a highly commended for this award for its outstanding achievement in adaptation and production. And it goes to everyone involved in the performance by Claire Thomas. Congratulations. And the winner of Audiobook of the Year is Devotion by Hannah Kent, narrated by Emily Wheaton, Han Macmillan Australia, Macmillan Australia Audio.
Hi everyone. As you would know, I'm not Hannah Kent. I am Ingrid Olsen, Publishing Director at Pan Macmillan, accepting this on behalf of Hannah, who will be thrilled. It's a beautiful recording of an absolutely exquisite book, and thanks to the members of the digital team from Pan Macmillan who pulled it together so wonderfully. So thank you.
Are you sitting comfortably?
It was funny, hilarious, and exactly everything we thought we would get. You're thinking of going, do it.
Oh no, I don't like the fame team at all. I'm kidding. Look, he's laughing over there, isn't he?
Now I'm going to do this with complete confidence, like you've never heard this before. Please welcome from Dymocks, Gail McWhinney.
Thank you for that. I've never presented an award before and I've fucked up before I've even started, so thanks for that. So second time lucky. I'm here to present the 2022 ABIA for Rising Star of the Year, sponsored by Media Super. This award recognises emerging talent in the Australian book publishing industry whose record reflects ongoing excellence and growth in contribution to their profession. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Rising Star of the Year, sponsored by Media Super, are
Kate Lloyd, Text Publishing. Emily Cook, Ultimo Press. Mika Tabata, Alinta Chidzey. Crystal Corricher, Larrikin House. Sam Vanderplank, Monash University Press. Emily Hart, Hardy Grant.
Before I announce the winner, the judges would like to say that it was incredibly difficult to judge the award this year, and all nominations were excellent in their own right. The winner of the Rising Star of the Year, sponsored by Media Super, is Emily Hart from Hardy Grant Books. Unfortunately, Emily can't be with us this evening, but we do have a short video from her.
Because that means that we're playing this video on a very large screen right now, so I will be very brief. I want to thank a whole lot of excellent people, particularly excellent women, who have inspired and mentored me, who have taught me what they know, who have lifted me up, and whose incredible work and friendship makes my work possible. That includes authors, freelancers, and colleagues, past and present, across bookselling and publishing. Too many people to name, but hopefully they know who they are. Thanks also to everyone else who works so hard to get Australian stories into the hands of readers. It will never stop being the best job in the world, but we also need to know our worth and to push the industry to keep evolving and expanding and embracing change. A huge congratulations to my fellow nominees, and thanks so much to the ABIA committee for this recognition.
Please welcome back to the stage, Evenlyn Araluen.
I am not Evelyn, but I will pretend to be because I'm a great actress. Now, to present the 2022 Bookshop of the Year, sponsored by Allianz Distribution Services, this award is to recognise an individual physical bookshop in Australia that demonstrated excellence over the course of 2021. The bookshop may be part of a larger chain, but this award is for an individual store. Here's my understudy.
Hello. Ben, can you quickly bring me my book? I don't have a musical number, but they told me to read a poem. Hi, how are we all doing? It's been a really long time since I've seen you all. I'm really hoping that we can again talk about the importance of joining your union. If you have not joined already, I'm sure that there will be a delegate there. Thank you, Ben. Me reading a poem. I could have done a musical number. Nobody asked me to do that. But I swear to God, this is not me just being indulgent. This is a thing they asked me to do. The selection of poetry, however, is me being indulgent. I'm going to read a poem called Acknowledgement of Country. Oh, you didn't laugh, okay. Oh, that might not go well. All right, we're going to find out what's going to happen. Hello, everybody. I swear to God they asked me to do this, I promise. Okay, acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge and pay my respects, the past, the present, emerging, country, elders, care, custodians. I welcome you all like me, to the unpronounceable, the unrememberable time immemorial. Would like acknowledgement, invitation/invite you all to be acknowledged, and welcome invitation and respects to any Indigenous past, present, emerging now, watching me acknowledge, to be acknowledged with my respects and my conciliation, after the show, during acknowledgements, as I regard Indigenous, with glances, with acknowledgement. I would like to say sovereignty and reconciliation. I would like sovereignty and reconciliation. I would like to say deadly, gubber, blackfella, mob, gammon, cis. Would like to speak the unpronounceable, to say your name, your nation, again, correct at last when compact. Would like to acknowledge my school trip to Alice. Respect humble, unlivable, unimaginable. Respect those black boys in Alice, except for those black boys in Alice, except for Alice. I would like to wear your flag on shirt and tote and Facebook filter. I would like to graffiti your suburbs with your flag. I would like to ask you about the Constitution. Would like to acknowledge that I am asking. Would like to acknowledge the decades of struggle from communities I don't drive through. I would like to blame you for your vote and apologise that I didn't bring enough flyers to your suburbs, to your homes. I would like to be invited to your homes to pay my respects, my acknowledgements. I would like all of this acknowledged and to remind everyone that we are meeting on land stolen, and remind everyone how sad it is you all died, to remind everyone that you're all dead or stolen or silent, how sad it is. I would like respect and acknowledgement for all this respect and acknowledgement. Well, I did that. Okay. Now, I believe that Seamus Gilchrist was also supposed to be up here with me from Allianz Distribution Services. I'm not entirely sure that Seamus is here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure whoever programmed this thought giving me an award was a good idea in the first place, but then having me present an award, arguably a worse idea, needed to be compacted so tightly together. So here we are. But however, now to pronounce the 2022 Bookshop of the Year, sponsored by Allianz Distribution Services. Are you Seamus? Hey Seamus, how you going? You having a good night? Okay, thank you. I thought I was doing well. Frequently, I often think I'm doing well. Good on you guys for sponsoring this. It's a really good thing for you to get involved with. I think we're all really happy about it. Because book selling is a really key aspect, and distributing services is also a really key aspect. So I think it's really important that we centre that. So this award, guys, it's really special, and it's to award and to recognise an individual physical bookshop
in Australia that demonstrated excellence over the course of the 2021 calendar year. Not the financial year, the calendar year. That's what we're going for, apparently. The Bookshop may be part of a larger chain, but this award is for the individual store. So if you have a complaint for like the Chatswood version of it, you don't have that complaint for the CBD version, okay? That's what's going on here. The nominees for the 2022 Bookshop of the Year, sponsored by Allianz Distribution Services, brilliantly represented here by Seamus Gilchrist, are...
Open Book, Matilda Bookshop, Potts Point Bookshop, Avenue Bookstore Albert Park, Avid Reader Bookshop, Paperbird Children's Books and Arts.
And the award goes to, for the winner of the Bookshop of the Year, sponsored by Allianz Distribution Services, the award goes to Avenue Bookstore Albert Park.
Hi everyone. As you might have guessed, I'm not Chris Redfern from the Avenue. He's in Italy. And he did send me a message this afternoon, just on the off chance if he won, saying he apologises for his absence tonight, acknowledges our fellow nominees, thanks to the ABA, and all the brilliant authors, publishers, and the whole book community we have been a part of for nearly 36 years. And most importantly, a huge thanks to the amazing, dynamic, dedicated, exhausted Avenue Bookstore team. So thank you. So on behalf of Chris Redfern, here we go.
Beautiful. We all like bookstores, don't we? We do. That's why we got another one. I'm now going to present the 2022 Book Retailer of the Year, sponsored by XL Express. We've got a different company involved this time, but we love all of them. This is an award for an Australian company or group of companies or retailers that has the best demonstrated excellence and contributed to the overall success of the industry for the 2021 calendar year. I mean, you know, if we wouldn't be here if there weren't people to sell our books. We all think we could do self-publishing. We can't. We're not that good. This award is open only to Australian registered national retailers, including book retail chains, discount department stores, online retailers, and other retailers successfully selling books as part of a larger range of products. Yes. And the nominees for the 2022, I was like, what else do they sell though? I don't know. Let's all contemplate that for a moment to build suspense. And the nominees for the 2022 Book Retailer of the Year, sponsored by XL Express, are...
Harry Hartog Bookseller, Booktopia, Dimmix, Big W.
Oh, just the three. Okay. The judging panel would like to... so I've got an extra note here that the judging panel wanted to make a special recognition for the work of Big W and Booktopia, who bring books to more Australians than ever and reach into more facets of the market than independent sellers can. They are to be commended. I reckon they're pretty cool. So let's commend. Which means the winner of the Book Retailer of the Year, sponsored by XL Express, is Harry Hartog Bookseller. That's some nice elevator music.
Well, thank you very much. My name's David Burkelow, Co-General Manager of Harry Hartog, and we're delighted and thrilled to win this award. It's, when I say we, I mean we have a terrific group of booksellers, merchandisers, buyers, and an administration team, and without whom we wouldn't be able to do what we love doing, and that's selling books. It's a great joy, and we take great responsibility with what we do, and we thank you, for the publishers, for your support, and particularly Australian authors who every year give us wonderful books to sell. So thank you very much.
And I'm David's brother Robert, and business partner, co-CEO and director. We are very, very grateful to be part of this incredible industry. The thing that we love the most is to create bookstores, spaces that bring people together, that reflect and respect the amount of emotional commitment that you put into producing the books. And the spaces that we create, we go to great effort to allow for the connection to happen, and for our booksellers to display their passion. So thank you. It's a great pleasure to be part of it, and we're very, very grateful. Thank you.
Acknowledging outstanding commitment and achievement within the industry is a very important facet of the Australian Publishers Association. And to present the next two awards, I would like to introduce CEO of the APA, Michael Gordon-Smith.
I'm the next cog in this incredibly well-oiled machine. Evelyn, thank you very much. All creativity starts with improvisation, really. And you did a spectacular job. She's left her award on stage, so has had to come back to pick it up in the haste. Thank you so very much. In a moment, I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. I feel like we could take a break, and perhaps, like the American baseball, we'll have a seventh inning stretch. That's not exactly why I'm going to ask you to stand up, but just be prepared. I'm going to ask you to stand up. Some people in the world leave benefits to other lives and other times long after their own. The Australian Publishers Association has 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards named after such people. The Pixie O'Harris Award recognises long and excellent service to children's literature. The Lloyd O'Neill is the mark of the association's highest esteem. It's presented each year to an author, a bookseller, or a publisher who's made an outstanding contribution to Australian publishing. Please, will you help me honour this year's recipients by standing up to applaud Libby Haythorne and Sandy Grant. Thank you very much. Today at the Book Up conference, we held interviews with Libby and Sandy. If you missed it, please check it out on our website later. They really are wonderful. This year's Pixie O'Harris Award is presented to Libby Haythorne.
Well, it's wonderful to be here, and I was given a 1,000-word response, and so here it is. I acknowledge, of course, first of all, those who've sung the country into existence. I acknowledge here in Sydney the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, who have these ongoing and wonderful connections to the waterways and the land and the sky. It's a great honour to be here at the ABIA as a receipt of this prestigious Pixie O'Harris Award. And do you know that I've known Pixie since I was a small child? In those days, parents weren't so helicopterish, and I was left at Wade House Hospital to have a tonsillectomy, and my father dropped me there and then disappeared. And I was so worried and upset. And as they wheeled me towards the operating theatre, I noticed there on the walls of Wade House were these gorgeous children's illustrations. And they were by Pixie O'Harris, so she really comforted me at that point. Now, I've said this morning that, you could say I've been in bed with many publishers over 50 years, 55 years. In fact, I think that I've been with the publishing industry longer than some of you in the room have even been alive, which is an incredible thought. So I thought I'd name them tonight, because I'm very proud to have been with every one of them: Methuen, Ashton Scholastic, Heinemann, Penguin, Oxford University Press, Random House, Macmillan, Nelson, IP Press, Margaret Hamilton Books, Angus and Robertson's, HarperCollins, Lothian, Little Hare Hardy Grant, State Library, Hodder Headline, Hodder and Stoughton, and now Lothian and Hachette, and I've flirted with other smaller ones I won't mention. Names spring to mind from first days at Methuen that some of you may remember: Liz Fulton, and later days at Hodder Headline with the likes of Lisa Heighton and Belinda Bollinger, and to my days at HarperCollins with Lisa Berryman and Christine Capoletto, to Julie Watts and Erica Wagner at Penguin days, and wonderful memories of the Bologna Children's Book Fair, where The Wonder Thing I just finished sort of went kind of wild. And then with Mark McLeod at Random House with The Gritty Way Home that I wrote that took up the Kate Greenaway Award in the UK. And Helen Chamberlain of Lothian, I actually wrote my first verse novel book with her, Volcano Boy, after an extraordinary writer's tour in Papua New Guinea. Shona Martin, my first substantial Australian poetry collection, but I was in agony over it because there was a spelling error in it. And I went in there to Shona demanding that she pulp 5,000 books because she didn't. But I'm pleased to say it's still in print some 12 years later. So it's time here to say thank you to all those Australian publishers for believing in my work, which is something quite incredible. And the effort, and yes, the industry that you all put into getting those books into the hearts and minds of the people that I write for, the young ones. Thank you, book industry people. Thanks to the editors and the marketers, the salespeople, the publicists, even to the reviewers. To the bookshops and bookshop assistants, the marvellous librarians. And thank you, ABIA, for valuing books in society as you do. Tonight, I've got to reserve a special thank you, though, for Hachette, who've partnered me in so much of my writing life. So, I'm going to call you out: Louise Schoen-Stark, so Fiona Hazard, so Jean-Marie Morrison, and all the gang at Hachette. I'm calling you out. I feel so blessed and I feel so lucky. Always a writer and obsessed with words since an early age, I remember one prescient comment from my daughter, who here accompanies me tonight, when I said no, I wouldn't come to the beach with them. I was staying to finish a chapter, and she very crossly said, "I wish you'd be like other mothers and do the vacuuming." I said, one day you'll be glad that I didn't. I describe myself as a writer, poet and librettist, and I've been so lucky because 3 of my picture books have become operas, one with Australian Opera and Theatre of Image, and at least 12 of my picture books, of the 32 I've written so far and still going, are written in verse. And the most recent, With That Daughter I mentioned, No Never, from Hachette, and others commissioned by the State Library of New South Wales, The Best Cat, the S-Cat, and going back in time, there are so many. I see myself as an advocate for children and their emotional growth and their aesthetic growth, because that's where I think books come in. The aesthetic of books far outweighs of that which we can see on the screen. And I want to talk about their safety in the world. That's really important. And alongside that and intertwined with it is I want to be an advocate, or I am an advocate, for poetry. Its power, its mystery, its delight, and its long-term significance that can shape a child a person, indeed a whole culture. Novelist Shirley Hazard said, "It's true that poetry can change one's nature." And Judith Wright, bless her, said that much more about the human heart than a textbook can tell you resides in poetry. And she quoted Walt Whitman to say, "Logic and sermon never convince, but the damp of the night drives deeper into my soul." She said poetry drives deep into the soul. That kind of truth is the business of poetry. And I want to say to all you publishers in the house, we need more poetry books. So glad to see Drop Bear as the winner. More diversity in publications. It's scary, poetry, even to teachers in schools when you talk of it, and yet it can be such a friend. Poetry websites might be wonderful and are needed, but isn't there joy in a much-thumbed book? The yielding of tiny secrets in just a few lines. So thank you, Hachette, again for believing in my upcoming picture book Mother Earth, mostly written during lockdown about the wonders of nature and our environment. Mine was a rich childhood of poetry readings and recitations, and I've tried to imbue that love all my life. I just will tell one quick little story about my son, that at about age 6, I decided I'd been really neglectful reading poetry, and I decided I'd try with Hiawatha, because it's such a threnodic, beautiful, homeward, hurried Hiawatha, empty-handed, heavy-hearted as a beat. But the first few verses of it are all about the creation of the world. And I could see him getting really restless and bored. And I said, "Look, tomorrow night when I come to read to you again, Hiawatha wrestles." And he brightened up. I might be ready for that. But some minutes went by, and then I heard a little call from his bedroom. He called me in, and he asked me one of those existential questions that can only come out of poetry, I believe. I grappled for an answer. He said, "Mum, why do we live?" I answered, "You children are part of it, but you're not enough." I had to be totally honest. The books and music that we read, it's a search for the answer. I guess you could say even at my age, I'm still searching. So all the powerful people here are the real workers of the magic and impact of the book trade. The history makers, the risk takers, the dreamers. You're the drivers of change, the heroes of the Australian book trade. You're the ones who'll be solving the problems of wither the book. As Iris Murdoch once said, she was asked to address that question, and you're much better qualified to do it. But I believed, as I said this morning, the book is here, it is changing, it's evolving as we do. It's still very, very important, that idea of a childhood without cuddling up with an adult or loved person and thumbing through a book, the taste, smell, sight, sound of a book. And now a final story to finish off my talk is in Papua New Guinea, where I was on tour. I went to a wonderful high school in Goroka and watched that amazing New Guinea dancing. And on stage at the high school, all boys high school, were some women who said they'd made a special event for me. They were women who'd come to school bravely to learn to read. And they wanted to say how that reading had changed their lives. Not just reading, the book. They held up books as beloved things, as precious things. And that really, really affected me. I can remember sitting on the stage as they chanted this beautiful poem, "I Love You, Book." So I took notes and I wrote a book some years later, probably 10 years later, and I'm going to finish with that book. I Love You, Book, a children's book. I've just taken an excerpt from it, and I'll finish with that. I love you, book. I love your papery smell, the pictures that you show me and the stories that you tell. I love the rustle, bustle of your pages, the sound as you close tight, the dreams you make me dream, where a carpet might take flight. I love you, book, when they read you through and through, or by myself I read aloud, when there's only just we two. With you I've met a talking hat, a giant, a lion, a monster huge, seen a city underneath the sea, heard a centipede being rude. I love your short, long words that leap across the stage, dots and commas, question marks performing every page. I love you, book. You make me laugh and sing, but sometimes make me shiver when my skin goes ting-a-ling. I love you, book. Yes, book, you are my friend, and though you take me far away, you always, always, darling book, you bring me home again. I love you, book, from your beginning to your end, which makes me say to Mum or Dad, I'd like that story just one more time. You can read it over again and again and again. For writers and other creators, between the struggles, the wrestling with ideas, the overlong waits, the crushing disappointments, the reaching towards the almost impossible dreams of an artist's life, there's such a lot to savour and delight and to struggle for again and again. Privileged am I in being able to devote my life to the arts and to Australian children's literature and to receive the recognition through this Pixie O'Harris Award. Thank you. 1,000 words. Thank you.
Thank you, Libby. Thank you very much indeed. It's now my very great honour to present the Lloyd O'Neill for 2022 to Sandy Grant.
Really, congratulations. Michael gave me 100 words. He must have left the zero off. So no lyricism, no books, a few thanks. First I have to thank the APA and my peers. It is a real honour to be given this recognition in Lloyd O'Neill's name. I did know Lloyd. Lloyd was a brave, charismatic, risk-taking publisher of Australian books, and Hardy Grant has carried on some of that tradition in that we publish Explore Australia. He published first 40 years ago with his first edition, and it's central to a whole division of Hardy Grant Publishing. And when I first was given a job as managing director of Heinemann Publishing at the age of 29, he was very kind to me and very supportive, involving me in his world in a nice way. And the O'Neill kindness and talent, I hope, goes on. His daughter Claire is now the Minister for Home Affairs, succeeding Peter Dutton, and so I hope she shows kindness that her predecessor perhaps didn't have, and perhaps she'll be her father's daughter. I have to thank thousands of authors who have trusted me with their work over the years. It is the authors who make our work. I have to thank colleagues, past and present. Publishing is the ultimate collaborative business, and sharing those bestsellers, sharing those moments of momentum and other highs lead to permanent friendships, of which I have a lot in the industry. But mostly I have to thank my life partner of 38 years and my business partner of 25 years, sorry. Fiona Hardy, whose talents and complement mine. Her talents complement mine and have made our business and our work a happy place and fun, and we've been successful together. And I have to thank equally, well, not quite equally, Julie Pinkham, who's the Managing Director of Hardy Grant Publishing. I've taken her ideas and decisions and taken credit for them for years, nearly 30 years, but she really is the driving force and great talent that's helped Hardy Grant Publishing become so successful. And finally, I have to acknowledge my assistant, Penny Rankin, who has supported me for 38 years. So thank you again, and I am honoured. Thank you. And you don't get rid of me because I'm going to present awards without as much colour as the last couple of presenters. But I'm here to present now the Matt Rochelle New Writer of the Year Award, sponsored by Simpsons Solicitors. And I invite Claire Young to the stage, who is the representative of Simpsons tonight. This award recognises new Australian writing and is awarded to a book by a debut Australian author of any genre. It will have been well received, sold well across the Australian marketplace, and created a buzz in the book trade. The nominees for the new Matt Rochelle New Writer of the Year, sponsored by Simpsons Solicitors, are
Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Douglas, The Truth About Her, Jacqueline Bailey, HarperCollins Publishers. The Mother Wound by Amani Haydar, Pan Macmillan Australia, Macmillan Australia. When Things Are Alive, They Hum by Hannah Bent, Ultima Press. Love and Virtue by Diana Reid, Ultima Press.
And from FitzSimons, a small contribution.
It's an absolute privilege for me to be here this evening to present this award in Matt's name on behalf of Simpsons and Adam Simpson. I know that his family, Hannah, Jude and Gracie, are proud that his name and memory continues to be associated with new writers in Australia. Matt was a strong believer in the importance of nurturing new talent. And it's a testament to Matt's achievements and authenticity that his legacy lives on through the Ritchell Prize and this Matt Ritchell Award for New Writer of the Year.
And the winner is The Mother Wound by Amani Haydar, Pan Macmillan Australia.
Well, following a trend, I am not Amani Haydar, but I am absolutely bursting with pride for her. The Mother Wound was a privilege to publish and a privilege to read. Amani is one of the most heartfelt, intelligent, warm, generous people I've ever met, and all of those traits are evidence on the page. I think, were she here, which she's not, you're stuck with me, the people she would be very explicit about thanking would be her family, particularly her husband Moe and her two children and her two sisters, Nor and Ola, and from Pan Macmillan, her beloved publicist Claire Keary and her equally beloved agent Grace Heifetz. This is a wonderful, wonderful book, and I'm so proud and so thrilled. Thank you.
Discover yourself with an audiobook.
Our next presenter is one of Australia's most esteemed journalists, editor, author and television presenter, currently a host on 10's network, The Project. Please welcome Lisa Wilkinson.
Can I just say how extraordinary Alinta is in Moulin Rouge at the moment, if anybody's seen it yet? Can we have a round of applause for Alinta, please? If you haven't seen it, she is unbelievable. She blows the stage away. I am Lisa Wilkinson, and I just wanted to pay my respects to everyone who's been nominated this evening and to all of the winners. And I know you're all desperate to get out for a drink, so I'm just going to get on with things. So the first one is General Fiction Book of the Year, and this is sponsored by Bookshop. Right, this is an award for a work of general fiction with mass market appeal, written by an Australian author which sold well across the Australian marketplace and created a buzz in the book trade. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA General Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by Bookshop, are
The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth, Pan Macmillan Australia, Macmillan Australia. Apples Never Fall by Leanne Morales, Pan Macmillan Australia, Macmillan Australia. Bila Yalalang Galang Durang, River of Dreams by Anita Heiss, Simon & Schuster Australia. Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Boothens, Alan and Amy. When Things Are Alive, They Hum by Hannah Bent, Ultima Press.
What a fabulous lineup. And the winner of the General Fiction Book of the Year, sponsored by Borrowbox, is Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Boothens, Alan and Unwin. It's quite the walk, isn't it? You get your 10,000 steps up, everyone.
Oh goodness, somebody swore before, and that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about the holy shit I just let out. And I also really do wish that all those times I was practicing a speech in the shower the last few days that I actually wrote something down. But that's also how I write most of my best work is lost in the shower. Wow. Thank you to the ABIA Academy. My goodness, it is just so nice to be home. So a special thank you to my Alan and Unwin family. Like so many families in the last few years, we have been separated by oceans and by pesky little thing called COVID. But the reunion has been oh so sweet and so special, and this is just really the icing on the cake and not something I really ever kind of dared imagine would happen to me in this book. Thank you so much to Jane, my ultimate or co-head witch, actually, with my agent, Cara, for believing in this book and in believing in me and in believing in Alice Lee. And to the rest of the Alan and Unwin family, Robert for trusting me with the numbers, Ellie, who gives me Powerade when I need it, Matt, the whole crew, you've just all been incredible, and I love you so much, and I don't want to leave tomorrow. This book, to my family and my friends who'll be watching across Australia and New Zealand, I love you so much. Thank you for putting up with me and my neuroses. This book, Before You Knew My Name, it really has my heart in it. It has my rage and my frustrations, and it has my hope in it too. It's about the damage that the powerful can do to the powerless by trying to tell their stories for them or taking their stories away. And I'm just so grateful that booksellers and readers and reviewers have embraced Alice Lee's story on behalf of all the women and girls and powerless people who don't get to tell their stories. So thank you, and the book is dedicated to my dad. It really is a story about believing that the dead are never truly lost to us. You just have to look a little bit harder to find them. So it's for you, Dad. Thank you.
And now, the ABIA Literary Fiction Book of the Year. This is an award for a work of outstanding literary fiction with broad appeal, written by an Australian author. It will have been well reviewed, sold well across the Australian marketplace, been a candidate for literary awards, and created a buzz in the book trade. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Literary Fiction Book of the Year are
Devotion by Hannah Kent, Pam Macmillan Australia, Picador Australia. Love Objects by Emily McGuire, Alan and Unwin. Wild Abandon by Emily Vittori, Alan and Unwin. The Truth About Her by Jacqueline Mary, HarperCollins Publishers. Love and Virtue by Diana Reid, Ultima Press.
And the winner of the Literary Fiction Book of the Year is Love and Virtue by Diana Reid, Ultimo Press.
Wow. Thank you so much. Gosh, it's just been the most crazy journey from this Word document on my desktop that I was kind of embarrassed by to being here, and that you write the Word document by yourself, but every step after that involves just so many people. So, and I'm so grateful to them every single day. So it's almost a relief to get this off my chest. So yes, I would like to firstly thank my publisher, Ultimo Press. When they bought this book, they hadn't published anything yet. They were just starting out, and it has been just the most amazing privilege to be such a formative part of their journey. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. And I just love every single member of the team so much, and I'm just so grateful for their belief in me and for being able to be part of something that I see as truly special in the industry, and I just can't wait to see everything else that you publish. In particular, my thanks to my publisher, Robert Watkins. Also, my thanks to my agent, Fiona Inglis, and also Benjamin Stevenson at Curtis Brown, who saw potential in this book before I did. And finally, to the booksellers. This book came out in lockdown by a new writer, and it was a very hard time, and then lockdown ended, and it was an even harder time with supply issues, and your passion was unrelenting, and I will always be grateful that even in a very difficult time, you gave this book just the most amazing chance. So yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
It is now my enormous pleasure to welcome to the stage an Australian icon. Would you please welcome visual artist and cultural icon, Wendy Whiteley.
That was a bit alarming, actually. Cultural icon. Maybe a monument would be more like it. Thank you very much for having me tonight. I was surprised to be asked to give this award, but it's very thrilling. I'm honoured to be here tonight. This is what they told me to say, and that's true, to present the final 3 awards for the night. There's Small Publisher, Publisher, and the Book of the Year. The first award I'd like to present is the 2022 ABIA Small Publisher of the Year, sponsored by Readings, which is my favourite bookshop in Melbourne, I have to say. So this is an award for the Australian Small Publisher.
Terra Press, Squire Publications, Black Ink, University of Queensland Press, Monash University Publishing, Melbourne University Publishing.
I didn't get round to reading all of that, but you've seen it anyway. The winner of the Small Publisher of the Year, sponsored by Readings, is the University of Queensland Press, UQP. Can you take that one away so we don't get confused? Thanks. Oh my God. Is there someone coming? This weighs a ton.
Thank you very much.
You're going to say your thing?
I'll say a few words, yeah. I'm absolutely thrilled. It's a real honour to win an award and accept an award that's been judged by your peers. So a huge thank you to the judging committee, and congratulations to the shortlisted nominees as well. UQP is a values-driven publishing house, and we act unwaveringly in accordance with our values. We champion First Nations publishers and emerging writers, environmental sustainability, diversity in our publishing program, in our staff and through our readership, inclusion, artistic excellence. These are the values that bind us together. And so I'm really pleased to be able to share this award with people and with our partners of like mind. To our authors and our agents who vest their stories, and vest their imagination, and vest their creativity, and vest their courage in us as publishers, thank you. To the wonderful booksellers and librarians across the country, to Winona and Adrian and the team at Australia Council, to Joe and Nicola and the team at Copyright Agency, to Donna and the team at Arts Queensland, to our friends at PRH, to our friends at UBD, to our friends at Macpherson's, the University of Queensland, to our wonderful readers and the 3,000 plus member community that we've developed over the last couple of years. And finally, a really special call out to my staff. You are unwaveringly passionate, and you are unwaveringly dedicated and creative, and I am deeply grateful to be able to lead such a creative and wonderful team. Thank you.
Okay, I'd now like to welcome Malcolm O'Brien from Overdrive to the stage to help me present the next award for the 2022 ABIA Publisher of the Year. The nominees for the 2022 ABIA Publisher of the Year, sponsored by Overdrive, are... Got that right.
Hachette Australia. Penguin Random House Australia. Pan Macmillan Australia. Grant Publishing. Alinta Chidzey. Thames and Hudson Australia.
And the winner, black envelope. The judging panel would like to recognise the incredible achievement of Thames and Hudson of their first year in the large publisher category. They certainly demonstrated excellent commensurate with their size, and several of the judges were particularly impressed by their growth and their proven sales success in new areas of the market and unusual formats. So I suppose that's a highly commended. I think they've been around forever, haven't they, Thames and Hudson? Thames and Hudson published the first book on Brett Whiteley many, many years ago, and Richard Walsh had a lot to do with him at the time, I remember. The winner of the Publisher of the Year, sponsored by Overdrive, is Penguin Random House. What's this one?
That's next.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You got it under control?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. It is heavy, and I'm sure everybody cannot wait for a drink after this, which was a great night. I'm so proud to accept this award on behalf of everyone at Penguin Random House. Thank you to the judging panel for the recognition, and the ABIAs for putting on this great event tonight. When I accepted this award last year, I said 2020 was a year like no other. But little did I know then that it was just a practice run for what was in store for us for the rest of 2021 had in store. So with extended lockdowns and supply chain issues. The one consistent, though, has been the incredible demand for books. It has reminded us what a great industry publishing is, especially here in Australia, and it's a real privilege to work with books and alongside people who love them. I want to thank our fabulous authors and agents. We love working with you, and without you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you for trusting your stories with us. And congratulations to our shortlisted and award-winning authors. And when you think of Lynette Noni, who won tonight, not only has she won an ABIA, she's #1 on Bookscan this week. How does she top that? To the booksellers, 2021 really wasn't the year that you wanted or hoped for. And I know that threw up every challenge possible. You showed awe-inspiring strength and creativity in continuing to get books into the hands of readers. Thank you for your patience, support and belief in us, and we truly value the relationships that we have with you. You really are the life force of our industry and we appreciate you enormously. Over the last few years, there has been no more deserving team. They're definitely not demanding, because they feel demand, than our team at United Book Distributors, UBD. I promise you, you haven't met a more resilient, dedicated and passionate bunch of people. They truly care and are always looking for ways to be even better. We are also grateful for everything they do. And finally, to everyone at Penguin Random House, in our second year like no other, you showed steely but calm resolve in acknowledging the challenges and situations that we faced and then doing whatever it took to find solutions. You had the creativity and determination to successfully adapt to the ever-changing environment. Congratulations and thank you for your continued commitment and passion for our company, our brand, and for each other. I can't wait to celebrate this win with you. But I do want to say it's one of our staff members' birthday today, Brandon. So happy birthday to Brandon. We'll all have drinks with you tonight. And it was Izzy's yesterday as well. So happy birthday to those two. So thank you, and let's all look forward to a drink very, very soon.
Okay. Now this is the big one, I think. This is top prize, I think. Before they were talking about, I asked a question and nobody could tell me the answer about what's the difference between literary fiction, general fiction, or any other fiction. I think it's just an excuse to give a few more awards, it must be. But anyway, this is now going to be the award of the book of the day, the evening, everything. Here. Right. So, I'll say the speech. Oh God, glasses next. I'd now like to welcome Sharon Villeneuve from Dimmicks. Is she around? There she is, coming. To the stage to help me present the award to the winner of our final award for tonight, the 2022 ABIA Book of the Year. The 22 ABIA Book of the Year is selected from the winning books of each of the categories from tonight's awards. As you can see, the nominees for the 2022 ABIA Book of the Year, sponsored by Dimmicks, are on the screen. Oh, there they are. And all of these category winners are indicative of the overall strength and health of our industry. So congratulations to them all. Now it says go to the envelope. Lisa, all your stuff's up here. I'm getting confused. Okay. The winner of the 2022 ABIA Book of the Year, sponsored by Dimmicks, is, pause, Love and Virtue by Diana Reid, Ultimo Press.
Wow, if I was emotional before, I'm wrecked now. Actually, I'm very grateful for this award, both in principle and also because as soon as I got back to my seat, I realised all the people I'd forgotten to thank, so thank you for giving me another crack at the title. I would also like to thank Sandy Grant for his support of Ultimo Press right from the top, and my amazing publicist, Emily Cook, and also James Kello, our fearless leader. And also I would like to thank the ABIAs. I always try to rationalise these things and remind myself that awards are arbitrary and art's subjective, but this feels amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you.
A huge congratulations to all the winners, the nominees, and also anyone who has the courage to write. Thank you for letting me be part of this incredibly inspiring evening. And next, I would like to welcome the CEO of Thames and Hudson and the chair of the ABIA Committee, Dan Watts.
So I get to have the last word, apparently, and I know everyone is very eager to get out to the bar, and I really will only take a couple of minutes. Firstly, I'd like to give an extra thanks again to Alinta Chidzey for agreeing to be our host this evening. Thank you, Alinta. Alinta and I are quite good friends from Melbourne, and it's great to see you in this professional capacity for a change, Alinta. And just to echo Lisa's sentiments, if you haven't had a chance to see Moulin Rouge yet, I highly recommend it. It's spectacular, and it's the talk of the town here in Sydney at the moment. So this really brings to a close this evening's awards ceremony for 2022. So on behalf of the ABIA Organising Committee and the Australian Publishers Association, I'd like to extend my congratulations to all the winners and all the shortlistees of this year's awards. I think you would all agree with me that it's been a fantastic event, and in particular, so wonderful for the industry to finally be able to come back together in person on the publishing's Night of Nights once again. So I'd like to again extend thanks to all of this year's sponsors, in particular Nielsen Bookscan, who are sponsoring the post-awards drinks. Thank you very much, Nielsen. I'd also like to just take a moment to thank the ABIA Organising Committee, who've pulled together the event this evening over the last 12 months. It's a big night. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of volunteers involved in making this possible. In particular, Nicole Salisbury and Chris Moss of the Entertainment Marketing Group, Michael Gordon-Smith, Tessa Gosselin, Anna Berkeley from the APA, Jane and Shanae from Maury Media, Emily Cook, Sally Wilson, Christine Armstrong, Maya Abraham and Casey Collins have all helped on the committee this year. All of you have contributed enormously, and you've all contributed in ways not possible before. You've made these contributions from around the country. So the last thing for me to do to close out the night is to invite you all of our guests to join in the foyer area for the after party, where we'll be serving food and drinks and providing an opportunity to meet with this year's successful award winners. So I think the bar is officially open, and I wish you all the most enjoyable evening. Thank you for coming.